First ever Ravery Sports podcast in the 600 some without me wearing a hat. So let's go ahead and try it out. Let's get it going. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the Ravery Sports podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content here on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, all of our social media platforms. We have it on Spotify. We have it on Rumble. We got all the stuff going. So definitely check us out on all of our social media platforms this week. It's the draft. Pre and post game tomorrow, 7:30 before the draft starts. We're going to go ahead before that on after the game as well. So we're going to be ahead. Definitely check it out after the draft tomorrow. Pre-game and post-game. I'll be doing a little bit of stuff tomorrow. I don't know how much I'll be doing with driving to the top tomorrow, but I'll be in there as well with all the guys there going over the draft tomorrow. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook. So definitely check us out if you are in the Winchester area. Things are picking back up, thank goodness, for the notary business there. I had to take a little break. So definitely had a notary appointment. So definitely, if you are in the Shenandoah Valley area, definitely go ahead and check us out. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook as well. See Charles Harris, we are LegalShield.com. So definitely check that out for us as well. See Charles Harris, we are LegalShield.com. Ravery Sports podcast every week. So we do that every Wednesday. Plus, we're going to be doing our interview series. That's going to be resuming this week as well. So we're going to have Big Rich. We're going to go ahead and talk to him this week as well. And don't forget, raverysports.company.site is our website as well. raverysports.company.site. All right. The title of the stream is NFL Mock Draft. This is our last one. The draft is tomorrow. Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. Hallelujah. The draft is here for all of us. It is the biggest day, one of my favorite days of the sports calendar, and I have a lot of good days of the sports calendar. Just had WrestleMania and all that other stuff. So outstanding as well with the NFL Mock Draft. But real quick, wrestling. Rock, inexcusable you not being at the pay-per-view. Come on, man. $30 million they're giving you, show up. All right. Back to the draft, NFL mock draft. The last one that's coming, the draft is tomorrow, the first round. Tomorrow, all weekend, Friday night, and then Saturday, the rounds 4 through 7. Let's take a look at how the round 1 works. Going to go through it a little bit here as well. I think there's a lot of just stuff out there. Now we're really in the bluff season. So there's a lot of stuff out there that just isn't true, that just is out there. A lot of smoke screens and things like that. So that's definitely a lot of stuff that's out there.
I didn't say now.
Cam Ward, number 1. I think we can pretty much put that in pin. The Titans have not been fielding anything for them. All indications are going to be that they are going to take Cam Ward with the number 1 pick. I don't think there's any question about it as well. So Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft on Thursday night. So definitely Titans fans familiar with a guy who can run the football and throw. Not quite as big as a Steve McNair, but I'm sure that's what they're going to be thinking about whenever they see Cam Ward run out of the tunnel in Tennessee. Shedeur Sanders, I still have him to More and more, I'm hearing Travis Hunter. I'm kind of thinking that the Browns aren't this silly. They really don't have a quarterback at all. They signed Joe Flacco this week. They did go ahead and sign. They did go ahead and sign their head Kenny Pickett. Adam keeps saying how Kenny Pickett won a Super Bowl last year. I'm just kind of not buying that. I don't think. I think they can't do it. I think what they could be doing, I think they could take one later. Unless you like one of the other quarterbacks, I do think they're going to take Shador. I heard they're open for business. I actually kind of believe that because teams usually are. Like, unless you're like Tennessee and you for sure take a quarterback with a number one picker, you're absolutely filling a need. I absolutely believe that's what they're going to do. But I still think it's Shador for the Browns at 2. Travis Hunter 3. Travis Hunter, I think, is the number 1 player in the draft. I think the Giants would absolutely love to take a Travis Hunter. Word is he's going to play more wide receiver than corner. I don't think it matters. I think he's a stud on both sides. I think Travis Hunter, has incredible speed, ability to take the ball away as a DB. I think he'd be fantastic. I think he'd be fantastic as a receiver. I think you put him on either side. I think he is tremendous. If the Browns do take him, I can tell you they are going to get a really good player. I mean, so that's not crazy, not bashing Travis, but they have no quarterback to get the ball to him. But Travis, I think, at 3. Abdul Carter is 4. A lot of people think that the Patriots are going to take an offensive lineman. They absolutely have to do it because it absolutely is a weakness. But Abdul Carter, I think, is top 4. He's not going to dip past 5, right? If all these other players are gone, I think Abdul Carter is going to go ahead and be the number 4 pick. Mason Graham, I think, is a top 3 player in the draft. I think the Jaguars definitely need it. Ward and Graham, you can pretty much chalk those in. I think those are picks. I think you can pretty much, I think the Carter, Hunter, they're going to go high. Ward, we know. And where's Shador going to go? What's left? But I think Mason Graham is going to go 5. No matter what the Browns do, I think that's, I think that's going to be it. I think the Patriots do go O-line if Hunter and if Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are gone. So I definitely think that. Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders. I think this is a typical Al Davis pick. The shout out to the late Al Davis, Mark Davis. They love taking these offensive linemen, skill players. Jeanty, I think there is a pretty big gap between him and everybody else in terms of running back in the draft. And this is a bag full of good running backs. So I do think there is room there, but I think Jeanty, is definitely the pick there. Tyler Warren at tight end for the Jets. I think Warren is going to be taken high. And again, another team, if you had to just pick it just based on need, probably the number 1 need for the Jets is offensive line. I don't think the linemen in this draft are super great. They can definitely find one, I think, a little bit later, but you're not going to find a Tyler Warren later. Tyler Warren, I think, is going to be the number 1 tight end in the draft. You're not going to find a Tyler Warren next draft or whatever. Tyler Warren is number 7. Terry McMillan. Different opinion on McMillan. I think he's the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. It's curious, though. He's so wide open in college. He is the best one at route running, finding spots in the zone, whatever. Can he actually do that at the next level? But he did it so well in college, you definitely have to put him in the cut above. He can see the whole field as a receiver. But it's interesting to see. Panthers absolutely need a number 1 receiver for Bryce Young. I think that is a weakness. They have a running back. They definitely need a number 1 receiver for Bryce Young. So McMillan, I think, at 8. Will Johnson to the Saints. Hearing the quarterback rumors more and more, I think if something was really wrong with Carr, and there may be, but I'm just hearing rumors. How is it your starting quarterback is out for the season and no one knows yet? It's so serious. So maybe they're keeping this under wraps. If they take a quarterback, that's something. I don't I, and I don't think one will be there anyway. I think Dart. I think this is too high. I don't think they're going to do that. Will Johnson, I think at number 9. I think Will Johnson might be the best pure cover corner in the draft. I don't think there's any question about it with Will Johnson, number 9. Bears definitely take a need. Will Campbell. Will Campbell is basically known as the best offensive lineman in the draft. Again, I've said it every time with Will Campbell. I don't think he is. I think he's the best pass protecting tackle in the draft. I think he's very good at that, but he's not as good as nasty in the run game as well. But I think the Bears definitely have a need. So the Bears at 10 taking Will Campbell. I did the first mock with this guy here, and now I got the last one, Javon Walker. So if Kenny's watching this, I'm sure he's a thrill with Javon Walker taking the edge here. Definitely reminds me a lot of Peter Boulware. He's going to bend the edge. You put him on the other side with Bosa. That's definitely a team with a lot of holes now. Niners definitely have a lot of holes and a lot of issues, but definitely taking a play like it. This is plug and play. This guy's going to start right away. He's going to be productive right away, especially on the side with Bosa. Plug and play. I think he's the second best edge rusher in the draft next to Abdul Carter. I think no question about it here. Jalen Walker, I think you got to do it. Cowboys, I think could take Marion Hampton of North Carolina. Hampton, I think they would absolutely love it if they take Genty here. I think if Genty, for whatever reason, falls this far, or I think if he gets close, they may trade up for him. But I think Marion Hampton is a solid running back. Run him right up the middle. Definitely a guy, very strong. Like you can run. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff with him at all. Run straight up the middle. You can absolutely use him. Cowboys have to do it. Have to take a running back. Marion probably a little high, but I think you can do it here. And they really need running back. Maybe a receiver if it's McMillan is still on the board, but Hampton I think is the choice. Armand Membu from Arizona. Membu, I think again. I think the group thing kind of likes him more than I've seen. I think he's more of a right tackle, very good in the run game. But I don't like him as well pass blocking. I think you could kick him in the guard and he'd be really good. I think he's really, really good in the run game. I think that's not overstated when people say they like him in the run game. He's pretty good in the run game. So I can't really argue that too much. I definitely think he's going to get taken high. And the Dolphins have a huge need. Dolphins absolutely need to more. As much as you always say you need to protect quarterback, Dolphins absolutely do need to protect quarterback because their quarterback is very injury prone. So they can't ever get enough of offensive tackles. Jai Campbell, linebacker, Alabama. So I think they would have loved Tyler Warren here with the Colts. The other need they have is linebacker. Campbell's moving up the boards here. I think there's no question how good he's been, but as some of these other guys move off the board, a big need for the Colts is linebacker. So Zaire Franklin have some issues there. I think definitely you can't go wrong. This guy is a guy. Again, I think you talk about guys who are going to start right away. He's going to start right away for the Colts. So definitely the best inside linebacker pure in the draft. I think Jai Campbell, 14 for the Colts, a need absolutely for them. Shamar Stewart, the edge for the Falcons. I think I've mocked the Falcons with an edge every time. I absolutely think that they're going to take an edge. Bit of a roll of a dice here because the production in college, considering his measurables and everything we saw at the combine, wasn't as good as they had hoped. But Stewart, I think, is fantastic in terms of his athleticism. Can it translate into sacks? Definitely first round physicality, first round grade, first round upside. Upside is tremendous. Definitely going to a team that needed. He's going to get every opportunity in Atlanta. Here's a guy. Now, measurables aren't as good, but the production on the field was good. Cardinals take Mike Green, edge for Marshall Thundering Herd in West Virginia. For those of you that didn't know, small school guy, very impressive at the Senior Bowl. I really always look at the Senior Bowl as when guys play well. Very, very impressive at the Senior Bowl. as well. Very productive in college. This is the productivity now. So you talk about Stewart, a guy with the production, with the potential, the body type, this is the productivity. So Mike Green, I think, is productive. Issues with Hendry, there. Cardinals need a couple of things, but I think this is a guy you can take in the middle of first round. Mikael Williams, edge, Georgia. He can stop the run. I think I like him as much as any of the guys I've seen. Maybe not the boom pass rusher right away. I don't know about that. Maybe, but I think definitely stopping the run is definitely a guy. It's definitely a guy who can set the edge. A 3-4 or a team like that really would use him would be good. I think if he plays on the other side of Hendrickson, that'd be your best bet. So you can have Anderson kind of collapse the packet and have this guy kind of set the edge. I think that would be perfect. I think it's a perfect fit for him on the Bengals. Mikael Williams, I definitely think this would be a great pick for the Bengals. Tyler Booker, really like him. Look, going wrong with Alabama offensive lineman doesn't happen very often. So Tyler Booker, I think, is definitely best offensive guard. I think in the draft, I don't think there's anybody else, any other guards, interior guys you take in the first round. Booker is nasty. Booker is going to you're going to put him in the pass game. If your team that throws all the time, you can absolutely use him. You're going to run all the time, you can absolutely use him. Definitely, I think a guy absolutely has the ability to start right away. Tyler Booker. Malachi Starks for the Georgia Bulldogs. Starks, I think, is a class by itself. I see Brian Dawkins might be overstating it, but he has all those tools like a Brian Dawkins. Hits really hard, covers well, has the ability to take the ball away. Yeah, I see all those things with Malachi Starks. Not quite as good last year as he was the year before. A little bit of a drop. Maybe teams also too were not throwing at him, so maybe partially he wasn't productive. But Starks, I think, is the good. There's no question about it. Colston Loveland, tight end for Michigan. Loveland, I'm pretty high on as well. I think the Broncos definitely need a tight end. They have the histories. We'll talk about former Bronco tight end Shannon Sharp in this pocket. But definitely he's a guy that is downfield. I like him downfield the best out of all the tight ends. He's a guy that's definitely downfield catching the football. So I like Colston Loveland there as well. I got the Steelers doing it. Jackson Dart, quarterback, Ole Miss. We're still winning on Aaron, apparently. Dart, I'm not as high on as some other people. I think this group after Sanders, the quarterbacks are kind of all lumped together. I don't love his arm talent. I think he kind of reminds me, I kind of put him in comical in the same category. Does a lot of stuff right, but I don't know if the arm is going to get it at the NFL level. I think the difference between him and McCord is he's a more of the prototypical size, etc. That's why I think teams are higher on him. I do think the Steelers do it. Thing is, with the Steelers, no second round pick. So if they are going to take a quarterback, they can't wait. Right? So they're going to have to take it in the first round. Matt Golden, I think, the Texas wide receiver, I think, blazing speed. Very good compliment to Ladd McConkey. You get Matt Golden at the one receiver, and you get Ladd McConkey at the other one. So you got a guy who's kind of a possession guy, a slot guy. You can put him over the middle field, McConkey, and you got the burner. You want to take the ball upfield, and you get Matt Golden with his 4.3 speed, some of the best speed at the combine. I think moved him up. Jahdae Barron is my favorite player in the draft. Absolutely, Barron, I think, is a phenomenal defensive player. He's the only reason he's behind. I think in a lot of drafts he'd be the top guy, but Travis Hunter is really good. Will Johnson is really good. I don't think right away if you put him on Chase and Jefferson man to man, not quite the stud of those other guys, but everything else is there. Takes the ball in the other way. Receivers, I want corners that are going to be the Marcus Peters. That are going to take the ball and take it the other way. So Barron, I think the Packers are going to love Jahdae Barron. Absolutely. Kenneth Grant, Michigan, for the Vikings, definitely filling a need, D tackle as well. Vikings, I still can't believe they're going with McCarthy. They're going to go ahead and do that. So they have some food. They got a few holes to fill like this. I mean, they got some work to do. I think getting a player like this is uh, absolutely be a good move. Grant, Chargers might take him. The familiarity with Harbaugh as well. I thought about that, but I think that the Chargers take the receiver and the Vikings go Grant here. Couple more. Josh Simmons, Ohio State tackle. Absolutely need at all cost tackles for Ohio State. There's nothing wrong with that. Simmons, I think, would be higher in the draft had he not had the injury. The injuries concerns, and not just last year. He's had some injury concerns. Talent is absolutely there. They absolutely need it though. The Texans. I think the Texans they have to take an offensive line. I mean, they were really not on one. Greg Zabel. I had somebody say I misspelled it before, so there you go. So Greg Zabel got there you go. North Dakota State. Another guy. Stock rose big time at the Senior Bowl. Have him at guard, played tackle in North Dakota State. I think he can play tackle. Tackle, I think Zabel, this is the Rams, I think, is good for any offensive lineman. I don't think they ask them to do too much there. I love the system that they have. The Rams don't make a lot of mistakes. I think this is a guy who absolutely would fit the Rams system. Sean McVay, one of the better offensive coaches, Greg Zabel. I think they absolutely do it. Ravens, Kelvin Banks. Banks, I think is the best offensive tackle in this draft. Definitely nasty. I know why the league doesn't like him, because when you talk about a left tackle, he's not as good of a pass blocker as you would hope. That's why I think teams are overlooking him. But he's a nasty streak. He pushes people back in the run game. Perfect fit for the Ravens, who like to run the ball all the time with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You said, well, why is he going to play? He's going to play at guard with the Ravens, at least initially. I think you could put him at guard. I think the Ravens see him on the board and they take him. I don't think they do that. Defensive tackle for the Ravens, I think, is actually in play. Derek Harmon and Nolan, I think that's definitely got. I don't know how they feel about the tackles, but I definitely think they absolutely need a guy like Banks. I think if he's on the board, they take him. Donovan Azerbu for Boston College. I think defensive end, I think has been defensive line for the Lions. I think every time. I think that is definitely the need for them. You're hoping to get Aiden Hutchinson back. Team just maybe missing a part, getting a partner, getting Hutchinson back. I think it's a great fit for him. James Pierce, edge, Tennessee. Defense. I think like this on offense, they have some help there. They went ahead and got Tunzel in the offseason. They got Jaden Daniels as a starting to making. They need help on defense. I think that's the thing. Best player on the board. This is kind of how I look at the Bills. They have a lot there. And look, best player on the board here is Derek Harmon, is a guy who might be one of the best defensive tackles in the draft. You could argue, I think, either him or Mason Graham. Harmon, I think, is going to go a little bit lower as well, a little bit below Graham, but somebody might take him higher. I think Harmon has that type of talent as well. Big guys, always an Oregon. Speaking of an Oregon, big guy, since you brought it up, Josh Connolly for offensive tackle. Chefs need a tackle. Offensive line issues. The only reason they haven't won in last year is their offensive line. I've mocked them, I think, offensive line. Going to keep mocking them. The last one we're going to do offensive line. He's good with his hands. He's good with his hands. I think he's probably the best pass blocker pure as well. Not as good in a run game, which is why he's lower in the draft. But at 32, Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Look, Eagles, O-line, D-line all the time. So unless they have a real skill player need sometimes, like which they don't right now. O-line, D-line, Walter Nolan, I think, is the best offensive line, best defensive lineman on the board. They take Nolan in the first round. There you go. The NFL draft. All right, so we're going to go over the Ravens, but one more time, we'll be here 7:30 tomorrow before and after the draft. And I don't know yet if the drive on the top is going to be on this channel or not, but it Very well could. So we'll go ahead and check that out. So definitely check that out as we go over the draft analysis there as well. We did the whole league first. I don't know if I put that up. Now we're going to do our squad, the Ravens. So the Ravens have 11 picks. They haven't traded them. Will they go ahead and trade Mark Andrews tomorrow? We don't know. Word is maybe rumors Odafe Oweh may be out there as well. Certainly there would be interest in him. So how much would that change the draft with Oweh moving? So we'll see. But the Ravens, this is the last one, the mock draft for the Baltimore Ravens 2025. We just talked about Kelvin Banks. I think offensive tackle is his spot. I think I like him in the run game. I think you can absolutely put him at guard if he's there. Ravens would absolutely be happy to have him there. Justin Pugh, I think of the Giants. That's kind of the comp when I see him. Justin Pugh's kind of the same guy, like kind of a guy, good in the run game. Had maybe not a stud right away, maybe not a stud for his whole career, but good in the run game, good solid offensive starting lineman. I think that's exactly what the Ravens are looking for. Number 2, Xavier Watts from Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. Ben Morrison and Xavier Watts were so big time to the Irish this year. And Xavier Watts, I got a feeling Ravens are taking a safety. I can't get past what EDC said about drafting a safety, needing help at safety. I absolutely think that's a thing. Landon Collins is a guy I think they absolutely that you could compare a Xavier Watts to, a guy, a complete safety. Like Landon Collins, and I think that's true of Xavier Watts. I don't think you draft a Xavier Watts and worry about anything as well. You're going to have a Darius, so I think there will be real competition if you went ahead and signed Xavier Watts there as well. That would be the only reason they wouldn't take a safety is they really want to start a Darius early. But if you bring in Xavier Watts, but I'm thinking that a safety would be pretty early in this draft. Omar Norman Lotz for the Tennessee Tigers. So this is Malik Collins, I think, is the comparison with him. Undersized, quick linebacker, quick defensive tackle. Perfect for a team with a 3-4. So definitely you could put him at DN. So you have Matabuke there. You have Broderick Washington. You're talking about pushing a little Broderick Washington there. It's absolutely true when you bring in an Omar Norman Lott as well. Great speed on the inside, a little undersized, about 290-ish, but definitely a guy I think the Ravens have to. You're going to have to come out of this some kind of way with 2 defensive tackles. You have 2 needs. You had probably Brent Urban retiring. And you absolutely have Michael Pierce already retired. So definitely that is a thing to look at. Round 3, nothing wrong with the SEC. Chris Paul is not the son of the great NBA player Chris Paul. That would have been a cool story, but that's not the case. So you do the comp Zaire Franklin as well. This guy sifts through traffic outstandingly. I think like his ability to get to the ball, get to near the line of scrimmage is very, very good. He is a little undersized linebacker. I don't know if you could call it that nowadays. Linebackers are second level, but definitely you could absolutely put him next to a Roquan Smith, and it absolutely would work. But he's just got that nose for the ball. He's got enough athleticism. The only thing wrong with him, I like to see him a little bit more thunder when he gets there. That's the only thing with him, but he absolutely gets to the football, tackles near the line of scrimmage. I think that's his strength. I think he has good speed as well, so he's got some I think he can work in coverage. That's typical anyway, frankly, with a young linebacker. They're usually not as good in coverage. But I absolutely think this is a guy, good upside. Zaire Franklin, I think, having Chris Paul there. Kick returner, Silas Bolden for the Texas Longhorns. So we know about Matt Golden and his speed. Silas Bolden, I think this is more a guy who can handle the kick punt return duties for the Ravens. He'll play receiver. Don't get me wrong. I don't think for sure that he won't play any receiver, probably a fourth receiver, but I think he can absolutely hit it there as a fourth receiver. But this is a guy who absolutely is going to be starting kick punt returner for the Ravens. No question about it. If you go ahead and sign him, tremendous speed, tremendous acceleration. Guys who are good on the punt return, kick return, accelerate in a hurry. He does accelerate in a hurry. Videos watching him, fantastic. Absolute great speed. Not as productive. I think this is why he's in the fourth round. But Bolin, I love this pick. Great, fantastic speed. Dexter McCluster, I think, is absolutely a good comp. Small, like 5'7", 5'8", great speed. Going to be great on special teams. Maybe he can help you in the slot. Zion Alexander for the LSU Tigers, big physical corner. I think that's absolutely it. So you got Nate Wiggins with the speed. I think he's going to be maybe competing with a TJ Tampa for that spot. Big physical guy. Cam Dantzler, kind of the same. A guy who can really get his hands on you. Long. You see the long arms there in the video, in the picture. This is a guy absolutely in the fifth round. Lots of potential. I think he could be coached up. I think he's better in zone too. I think so many teams now play zone all the time. I think including the Ravens. So I think Zion Alexander is a good pick here late. Absolutely. Edge. Ravens are usually taking guys. They like taking these guys in these middle rounds. You listen to EDC, how excited he gets. Well, middle round, he loves to take guys in the middle rounds. Baron Soul, Edge, Texas, another Texas guy. Here's a guy, absolutely, Bryce Huff. He little inconsistent. So I think that's the reason why he's higher, a little small. So I think that's the truth. But I think the production is enough there. I think definitely he can absolutely help you third downs right away. Put him in third down, put him in. He absolutely has the potential to be a guy down the line, I think, who can be a starter. You do now possibly issue with Oweh what's going to happen. They're going to have to make a decision here pretty soon. So I'd be shocked if they didn't take a pass rusher in the middle rounds. I'd be very surprised. Luke Kandra for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Reminds me of Ben Powers. Reminds me a lot of Ben Powers in terms of on the field and what he does. I think like he can have a very similar career. I don't know if he starts right away, but definitely he's a guy. He's going to make the roster. I got to tell you too, watching him, he smiles a lot. Like, what is that? What does that have to do with anything? He looks like he's enjoying playing football. That's a real thing. You can kind of even see that when I see him. Every time you get a photo of Ben Kandra, Luke Kandra, he's smiling. You see him on the field, he's smiling. You see him he's smiling every time. So he's enjoying the game. I think he's definitely a guy who can develop as a guard. Got to get stronger. I think it's always the case here elite where a guy, like, unless he's a real mauler type, he's got to get a little stronger. But like him in the zone blocking as well. I think I was very impressed with that. I think definitely the Ravens absolutely have use for that. So he won't be a Daniel Falele situation where he doesn't know how to zone block. He'll know how to zone block when he comes in. Riley Mills from the Notre Dame Irish. So we had Xavier Watts here earlier. Riley Mills as well. This guy reminds me of Brent Irvin. He's wearing the number 99 when I see him. This absolutely can be a replacement for Brent Irvin. We don't know if he's going to come back, but the guy hustle. To me, like I seen him, the fact that he had productivity, there's all the expression like in boxing too, more will than skill. That's what this guy is, and I mean that as a compliment. Like, he's technically not refined, not that big, not super quick, but man, he just is in the backfield a lot for a guy with those type of traits. So it reminds me a lot of Brent Over, kind of the same. He'll be great in practice. He'll be great hustling. Riley Mills, I think, played at a big school, used to playing the good competition. Number 6 as well. They're going to need a couple linemen. I can't emphasize that enough. Maybe they only carry – they need at least 2. If they decide to carry 6, they may need more than that. I don't know if they do that. They've been carrying 5 linemen here, so we'll see. Upton Stout from the Western Kentucky, I think it's Hilltoppers as well. Fun guy to watch on film. Super small. I think great speed. he's not big. It'll be fascinating to see how he does at the pro level. But he kind of reminds me of when I see not Bro Bray, but Cecily Kane. That's what I was saying. Cecily Kane. Not the size doesn't stop him from getting physical in the run game. And that was also impressive. He's small. He's got quick. He kind of reminds me, I think the high end for him is former Ravens Seahawk Josh Wilson. I think he can handle himself on the outside. I think he's got strength. He's got the ability to go ahead and challenge a guy as well. The height is going to bother him against some corner, against some of the taller guys, the Justin Jefferson types and things like that. There are going to be some coaches that say, well, we got to leave him in the slot all the time. But I tell you, this guy has got a little fight in him in the run game as well. So he's got great speed and physicality. Small, though. I don't know if he's big enough to be an outside corner where you put him on an island. I think that's it. That's why he's back here. And he played at a small school. But potential is absolutely there. And Tyler Loop. I think Justin Tucker is going to be ex-Raven. Tyler Loop for the Wildcats of Arizona. I think there are about 4 kickers in the draft as well that we really liked. I think Loop, you take it a little bit back here late in the draft, but Loop, I think, is rising or Robbie Gould. I think that there is a comparison as well. I don't know if he has the deep ball that Justin Tucker had, but everything else is there. Going to hit that intermediate. There you go. So there's the draft for the Ravens as well. So definitely check that out here as well. Kicker, I think, is going to go at some point for the Ravens. Defensive lineman, I think you're going to have to see too. Early offensive line, defensive line, that's definitely on par for the Ravens. I definitely think they're going to do that. There's great value there. Also, to corner, you'll see it. And absolutely, we'll go over this tomorrow when we have our draft video. And so absolutely go ahead and check that out. All right. Let's go here a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs, which are going on right now. So no big surprises yet in the NBA playoffs. When I was looking at some of the games, looking at the bracket as well. Thunder up 2-0. I think the Grizzlies are better than this, even though they'll still get swept. I think they made a mistake firing their coach. So, but the Thunder, I think, are the real deal. I think the Thunder is only a matter of time that they're the best team, I think, in the NBA so far this year. They're the team I like to actually win the whole thing. Nuggets and the Clippers going on in the first round. That series is tied at 1-1. Nuggets, I'm not buying the Clippers, man. I'm not buying the Clippers. Kawhi and Harden miss me. Will they play great? Sure. Will they have some great nights? Sure. Can they beat the Nuggets over 7 games to Nikola Jokic? No. I certainly don't think that's going to happen. Lakers and Timberwolves are 1-1. This series has been the form as I kind of thought. Lakers, I think, are the 2 best players on the court. Anthony Edwards is third. Anthony Edwards some nights can elevate his team and score a lot of points, and they make a team look bad and look like a NBA championship level team. And then the next night, they kind of don't show up. That's kind of what I've seen with the T-Wolves. Not consistent enough on the big stage. Rockets, I'm not as convinced, even though they're the 2 seed. I do like the Warriors in this series. They're up 1-0. They're not. I just don't think they're good. I think they have good coaching. I think they were fortunate enough to have a record. I think Jalen Green is pretty good, obviously, as well. But Butler in the playoffs and things like that. The Warriors, I don't know if they're young enough to go all the way, but I definitely like them there. Cavs and Heat, I think right now looks like they're at the end of the third quarter. Cavs, I think they probably are the best team in the East. I think the Heat, shout out to them even getting this far, winning the play and getting this far. It's Heat culture. I think, but can the Cavs be on when the lights are brightest? Pacers up 2-0 over the Bucks. That doesn't surprise me. Bucks, I think, are a fraud. Giannis is really good. Lillard's going to score. He's been on and off the court. I don't think they get together. Pacers have been decent all season long. Knicks and Pistons, that's a toss-up. I have no idea what to win because I don't know what to think of the Pistons yet. They haven't really been here. I'm not a real buyer on the Knicks. I think their offense has holes in it. And the Celtics looks like they're handling their business against the Magic right now to go up 2-0. We all know the Celtics, I think, are a better team. I think the Magic, shout out to them, getting to the playoffs as well. So definitely we're going to keep track of the NBA playoffs. I hope the Lakers win it, in full disclosure, big Laker fan, but definitely wanting the Lakers to go ahead and win it. But I think OKC's really good in Cleveland. As much as national media doesn't want those two teams to be the teams, but OKC and Cleveland are really, really good as well. Yeah. Former Raven, Shannon Sharpe. Yeah, man. So apparently I was going to talk about Shannon this week because he had a $100 million deal. Apparently now it's off the table. I kind of assume that's reported that maybe he's not signing that now. But apparently Shannon Sharpe has been a $50 million lawsuit where somebody is accusing him. He's a young lady, very young lady, accusing him of rape. We'll just say that as well. So this is not a criminal case, but this is a civil case, and they're suing for $50 million. Shannon Sharpe has made a video to defend himself, saying that it wasn't him to do that. I'm not going to show the video. I'm not going to go there as well. Shannon is saying, defending himself. I think that's always a sign to if a guy thinks he's innocent or maybe innocent, that he comes right out and starts defending himself. Any lawyer would tell you not to say anything for sure. Don't tell anybody anything. But the fact that he's coming out defending himself, that's it. Interesting Stephen A's video on Shannon Sharpe talking about it. I'll say this. I don't know if this is true or not. I saw my man E-Man talk about this, Average Joe talk about this the other night. I thought he articulated this very well. I'll say this, and I'll say this on this, and it's kind of what I said on the stream. Shannon Sharpe is going to be 56, I believe. I have to Google it and see how old Shannon Sharpe is. But Shannon is going to be 56. I think he's already 56. He might be 57. So I'll just go. He's 56. He's going to be 57 years old in June. Dude, why are you associating with a 19-year-old? Come on, bro. Don't do that. It never ends well. So many of these guys, older guys, think you're cool by associating with this girl 19, 20, and they think that it doesn't end well. Sinbad made the joke a long time ago. Sinbad was an outstanding comedian. For those you don't know, it was on Different World and things like that. And he would see people and if men he knew in their 50s and they're dating this girl 20 and they're bragging to him. He's like, well, she's in love with me. Man, she wants your house. You're 50-something years old, you're 20. What do you think she wants? And that's for sure what he's guilty of. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it may have already cost him a whole lot of money. It's certainly going to cost him a lot of legal fees. So, yeah. So Shannon, we'll definitely keep our eye on that. What's going on with former Raven Shannon Sharpe? There. Let's do a little baseball. The tears. A little early for the tears, but we're going to go over it because we've had some weird stuff happen early. Like teams in places, including the Orioles, who have really struggled, that aren't usually there. So we'll definitely go over that as well with the MLB tiers. Let's see. So these are the teams right now, even though it's April, these are the elite teams right now. So these are the teams right now, I think, World Series level teams. Yankees, Padres, Dodgers, Guardians, Diamondbacks, Mets. Yeah, Aaron Judge, by the way, is good at baseball. Right? He's hitting over 400. He's got 7 home runs already. He's back in his right, and he's in his proper spot in the field. He's in right field. So I think that's it. Max Fried and Rodon have been great at the start for them. So I think there's enough there. A little bit worried about Williams and the closer. It hasn't been great there so far, but that's a concern as well. Padres, I think, are there. Padres, I think, maybe it's a little too quick to throw dirt on the Padres. We'll see. I think we know how good Tatis is for them. Manny Machado is still there. Their pitching is not bad. I think also to Suarez, I think, is leading the league in saved. So they've had good relief pitching and good starters as well. Padres, I think you're going to put there. Dodgers, we know they got everybody, even with all their injuries as well. Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, etc. Betts, Edman has gone off to a good start. Their pitching, I think the Dodgers, are absolutely elite. There's no way they're falling out. No way the Dodgers will fall out of the elite. The Guardians, I'm going to leave there as well. Kwan and Ramirez, I think, are fantastic. I think they're very underrated, by the way. I don't think people talk about how good Steve Kwan and good Jose Ramirez is. Well, Kyle Mazzato has 7 home runs at the start. So I think that if they can get some more offensive help, I think that really puts them there. I think Class A struggled here to start. It's a little bit of a concern, but I think K. Smith is outstanding. So we'll see with him there. Guardian D-backs, I think pitching, I don't think has been good as they had hoped, but I'm not too concerned about their pitching. Burns, I think, will get it together. I think that's just a matter of that. I'm still going to leave them there. And the Mets have been fantastic, even with Soto not going off to the blazing start. He's not going to be great all the time. But I think the Mets are there as well. Playoff contender, Cubs, Giants, Tigers, Rangers, Brewers, Red Sox. Cubs, I think, are right there. They're probably the best team in that division. They're starting pitching. Steele, I think, is going to be out for a while, so that's bad news. It looks like they're going to sign the long-term extension of Kyle Tucker, so we're going to see how that goes. Giants are much better so far than what we think. Good start, at least. I think that's required for a team there as well. We'll see, but not everybody. It's going to be a tough division, though. But I think I got to put them in a good category the way they've started. Tigers, I think, are right there at the start. Their rotation is really good. Tarek Subal, Reese Olson, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, I think, is kind of going to took a start for them. And Spencer Torkelson has finally looked like the guy they all hope for so far. So I think if there's a concern, it's that they're not going to have off offense if they've kind of had it. Rangers, we know, are good. I mean, they're bordering on elite. They won it a few years ago. Tyler Mahe has been really good at the start as well. And they have had Jacob deGrom in there. Evaldi has been good. Wyatt Langford, I think, has given them reason for optimism here at the start. Brewers, I think, are there as well. I think it's going to be 2 to the post, them and the Cubs as well in that division. We'll see about that. They have, I think, offensively, I think this might be a better group than they're used to seeing as well. Both Sox, I think, Devers, I think, has kind of had a bit of a slow start, but their pitching has been good. Crochet has been terrific for them. This is exactly what they hoped for, getting them off a bad team, getting them on a good team. They're finally getting production from Trevor Story, so good for them. So they're getting it from Trevor Story. So that's actually good as well. Decent teams. Royals, Reds, Angels, Mariners, Blue Jays, Astros. Royals, I think they're going to get better. They haven't been great here so far. Their offense has been decent. Witt, Perez, Pasito, India, Arias, their pitchers haven't been great here. A little bit, not great, but not bad. I think that they got to even that out to get possibly in the playoffs. The Angels, Mike Trout is good. They'll be good. Like it's look like this. If they can get a whole season of what they've been getting from Mike Trout lately, they're going to go ahead and get into – they have a possibility of getting in the playoffs and possibility of being decent. The Blue Jays, I think, are really good as well. They haven't had great starts from a lot of people. I think Springer has been good for them, and Hoffman, Santander, kind of a bit of a slow start. We'll see. Their Mariners, I think the Mariners are exactly what we thought they were. To quote Dennis Green, Cal Raleigh's been really good as far as the offensive production. I'd like to again, Julio Rodriguez, slow start. Let's start seeing a little bit more from him. The rotation is decent. We know that. So the only thing with them is, can they get enough offense? The Astros, I think, are missing like half a step, having Altuve in right field. I still don't know why they're doing that. They've kind of been, again, what they thought they were. Possible playoff team, decent. I think missing half a step. Astros, I think, are there. I'm being nice and putting the Orioles in this category. Their pitching has been awful. Awful. We'll get to that in the report, so I won't spend too much time on the Orioles. But the pitching has been awful. There is some hope their offense is going to turn around because they still have really good offensive players. Even in this category as well, the Cardinals are here. This is kind of a nod against their organization, but man, they're not. I think they're kind of losing the way a bit. They kind of don't know where they want to go. Nats, I think, are building. Are they winning right now? Nats, I think, are building in the right direction. They could be higher during the season if they, depending on how they do. Nats did win tonight. It looks like so. Bad news for the Nats. Braves, I think, are kind of the same. Pitching hasn't been great for them. Marlins and A's, the circumstances are making it tough. They're fighting, but it's going to be difficult. Not going to spend too much time in the last category. These teams haven't been any good. White Sox, four down. No, yeah, there's nothing here. I do think the Pirates of any of this group. Let's go over Rays, Rockets, Rays, Twins, Red Sox, Marlins. I think not the Marlins. I think I put that in the wrong graphic. So Rays aren't any good. These teams aren't any good. White Sox is absolutely no hope at all as far as that goes. Who did I put in the last category? No, it wasn't the Marlins. Give me a second, folks. So the Marlins, not the Marlins. Twins, I think, are back here. I'm sorry. So the Twins are not the Marlins. I have the Twins. The Twins, I have the Marlins there. Twins aren't any good. Pirates aren't any good, etc. White Sox, Rockies, Twins. Yeah, that's it. So but it's the Twins. So it's White Sox, Rockets, Twins, Rays. No good. So there you go. The tiers, those teams are not going to the playoffs at the end as well. Some teams we don't know are there, and it's a little odd there. So it is a little strange to see some of those teams here at the end. Let's do the Orioles report. We're going to keep doing it, even though the Orioles have not played well. As we know, they did lose tonight, apparently. I didn't see the end of it, obviously, because I was obviously working the street. So I guess I could even start there, but let's talk about Brandon Young at the beginning. So Brandon Young, they did bring him up for a spot start from Aberdeen. They designated Scott Buick. Buick, obviously, he's already signed with another team, so they sent him back down after the game, brought up Cody Poteet from Norfolk and optioned him back down. Poteet, again, gets hurt, so they swapped him back. He's back in the rotation as well. That was retroactive to the 21st. Trevor Rogers is in Chesapeake. For those of you who don't know, it's now no longer the Bowie Bay Sox, the Chesapeake Bay Sox. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Kyle Gibson and Trevor Rogers now, the way that the rotation is looked. So it's definitely you got to keep an eye on those guys that in the middle of a rehab assignment as well. I think it'll probably be soon. I think in May, I think he could be ready to go in the bigs if they decide to bring him to the bigs, which would be an interesting decision they have to make. Brandon Hyde said Wednesday that the Grayson Rodriguez elbow has been diagnosed with a mild lat strain, causing to our guy Jacob Calvin Meyer at the Baltimore Sun. Look, you're not going to have Grace for a while. It looks like he is starting. Every time it seems like it's funny though. Every time Mike Elias and Brandon Hyde asked about it, they kind of, well, it's no big deal. Everything is just working itself out. But yet still they keep postponing his sessions and doesn't look like they're going to have him at all this year. Kyle Bradish is back flying a long time darn surgery, according to Mike Elias. Back on track. Recovery could turn late in the summer. I didn't put late to save that space. Bradish, I think he will have at some point this year. I think late in the summer sounds about right. After the break, August, etc., you could have Kyle Bradish at some point. Look, you don't have your three best pitchers right now. I don't have anything on Eflin yet. And I'm going to go ahead and look up Zach Eflin here real quick. But, I mean, you don't have your three best pitchers. Last year, you got rid of Corbin Burns. You don't have Zach Eflin. You don't have Grayson Rodriguez. You don't have Kyle Bradish. That's a problem. So, and Eflin is going to go ahead and throw in the bullpen this week. Man work as well. So, that's good news as well. Real quick, Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, here at the end, could be the last season, is finally launching their streaming service, Mass and Plus, that will give you available every O's and Nationals game. So now you no longer need the cable. It's $19.95, apparently a month, according to the Mass website, where you can go ahead and order that through your streaming service, so you can get your cell phone. I'm Team Android here, like this one here, and you can go ahead and get Masson through the app. You can order it through the game, so you no longer need cable to watch the Orioles. You can go ahead and do that, and also the Nationals. I would get the monthly personally, simply because I wouldn't do the year because there's nothing else to watch on Masson. So that's a thing. So keep that in mind there as well. Orioles were awful this week. Of course, somebody asked me, man, did the Orioles give up 24-2? Looked like the Ravens and the Bengals put a beat down on them. That was the most runs the Cincinnati Reds have scored on. They scored it on Easter Sunday since 1900. Yes, that's right. That's 100 years. They haven't scored as many runs as they did. So the Orioles pitching was flat out awful. Morton, I don't know what to say. They can't keep going with Morton as many starts. At the end, the smart thing they did, they put Gary Sanchez and Jorge Mateo in just to save some bullpen arms. Does that make sense? But that was just bad. That was just bad all the way around. I haven't seen this anywhere, but I do think Jordan Westberg is battling an injury. This is just more my opinion, not what's been reported. But he's DHing a lot. So I don't know why. I don't know any other reason he'd be doing that. So you're seeing Urias a lot at third base, and you're seeing Westy in DHing a lot all of a sudden. So that kind of tells me that there's something there where they're DHing him more outside of just strategy. So as well, again, that's just an opinion. I didn't read that anywhere. Sagano, Felix Bautista, Cedric Mullins, if you can call it hot. Sagano, again, probably been the best pitcher. He hasn't given him a ton of innings, but he's probably been the best. Felix has been good, but they haven't really used the closer much because you haven't won much. And Cedric, I think, has been fantastic all season long. So definitely put him in that category as well. Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton is been awful. Jorge Mateo has been awful. Kiliano Perez has been awful. Enough said. I don't know what else to say at this point about those guys. So I just haven't been any good. And this week, I'm going to go ahead and give the player to week to our man, Ryan O'Hearn. O'Hearn, I think, has been fantastic for the Orioles. I think he's been a solid hitter. They've even had to put him in the outfield with all the injuries. Have a good draft, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and you'll have a great rest of your day.